Hey everyone, I know we're living in such crazy times and we may easily find ourselves unmotivated to do any type of work. So today I'm gonna share some tips that have personally helped me be productive. Tip number one is to have a pre-work routine. I'm guessing that most of us had some sort of routine to get ready for work before we were forced to stay at home. Whether that be taking a shower, working out, having your breakfast, or even just having your morning cup of coffee. Now that we're at home, getting into our usual routine can create that mental switch that we're ready to roll and we're ready to do some work. Personally, I love working out in the morning because other than getting that daily dose of endorphins, aka our feel-good hormones, it also promotes blood flow and help increase energy and focus throughout the day. Tip number two is to make a to-do list. Having no clear goals can really make you struggle in getting things done because you're not holding yourself accountable of anything. Also, study shows that you are 42% more likely to do something if you write it out. In addition to that, our working memory only has the capacity to store up to 7 plus or minus 2 items, so if you have 10 or more things to do, chances are you're gonna forget something out of those. So, taking just a few minutes to plan and write everything out could really elevate your productivity game. However, make sure to not set yourself up for failure. Set achievable goals and remember to focus on the quality and not the quantity of the work. For me, productivity is more about efficiency and not just about being busy. Tip number three is to maintain a clean workspace. Having an untidy and organized working space can serve as a distraction, and you may end up focusing your energy to that instead of your work. So it's also very important to keep your working environment fresh and organized. Tip number four is to create friction with distractions. Our attention has a limited capacity, and staying focused in this world full of distractions could be really hard. I don't know about you guys, but the greatest distraction for me is my phone. A 5 minute scroll through social media could end up being an hour or two sometimes. So if you're like me, what you could do is put it away somewhere where you can't see it, or somewhere where you would have to get up in order to get it, like your kitchen. Doing this creates that friction that would help you be less distracted than having it readily accessible in front of you. Tip number five is to take breaks. We all know that sitting for long hours is not good for our body because we need to get that blood flowing. And we need that mental and physical break from our work. I mean, even computers need to be refreshed. I usually use the 30-10 method where I set my timer for 30 minutes of work and then a 10-minute break. Now for this, I recommend experimenting and finding what works best for you because I think it's not gonna be the same for everybody. On my breaks, I would usually take a quick nap or read a book and even do karaoke sometimes, just to release the stress from all the studying that I did. Tip number six is to have water readily available. If you want to increase your productivity, drinking water is a must because dehydration can actually impair your brain function. Also, don't just drink when you're thirsty because thirst is actually a late sign of dehydration. So, it'll be a great idea if you put it in front of you because you're going to be constantly reminded to drink water even if you're working. This is kind of like the opposite of putting your phone away because now you're making it more accessible so that it'll take less effort for you to actually do it. Tip number seven, do not work in bed. I'm guilty of this before because I used to do a lot of my works in bed, which resulted to a lot of neck pains and unfinished projects. First of all, any position is not good for your posture. And isn't it hard to resist the comfort of your bed and crawl back to sleep? And when bedtime comes, you're gonna find it hard to sleep because you're making a place of relaxation a working station. So please do your best to not do your work in bed or you're gonna end up like this. And my last tip is to reward yourself. Have something to look forward to at the end of the day, like watching a movie or K-drama in my case. And you can also eat some brownies. I mean, you can pretty much do anything that will make you happy. Just don't forget to give yourself a pat in the back for getting things done and for making it through the quarantine. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!